Welcome to the Sanctus Forum podcast. My name is Michael Stewart Robb, and today we are talking about The Divine Conspiracy by Dallas Willard. So, just a reminder, there is a podcast that goes with this video series, and if you're the sort of person that would not like to look at my face while you hear me talk, actually I can't do anything. If you don't want to hear me talk, then you just have to shut it off. But there's the podcast. It's available on any platform that you'd like under the name of Sanctus Forum. Don't forget to like and rate these podcasts or whatever you have to do, write reviews. Same with the YouTube videos, like, subscribe. Go over to Sanctus Institute and sign up for our almost monthly newsletter. Well, anyway, that's out of the way. Today, we're talking about a section in The Divine Conspiracy called Rumors from Intellectual Heights. And I actually heard one of these rumors myself. Not really a rumor. I had a friend who was working at a university, a professor, and he was in this sort of position where he had to deal with students who had plagiarized on an essay or on a test, and they had to come in and talk with him. And he was surprised at the fact that in recent days, students were not even showing remorse about what they had done. They just sort of simply asked, well, what are the consequences? And he said, well, you failed the exam, you failed the course. And they said, okay. And you see, it just was a sort of a business strategy for them to cheat, to plagiarize, to pass off someone else's work as their own. It was just like, well, I tried it, didn't fail. I'll try something different next time, maybe studying. Welcome to the Sanctus Forum. I'm Michael Stewart Robb, better known as Mike, and we're talking about The Divine Conspiracy by Dallas Willard, section by section. This is a series I'm calling Conspiracy Commentaries, and we're in the first chapter, so you haven't missed much. Second section in the first chapter, Rumors from the Intellectual Heights, and in this section, Dallas has, a story, an anecdote, an essay from the one-time president of Harvard University, Derek Bok, who was concerned about how American society, or just Western culture in general, didn't really seem to have a way to deal with its own moral failures. And he thought, well, maybe the universities could help. And actually, in that respect, he was right in that universities had traditionally done this for society and for the sorts of people that went through the university that needed university education. And what Dallas is saying with this, he's saying, well, there's sort of a basic problem here, that students do not leave university with strengthened moral character, right? And that's it's almost what we've come to expect. We don't, send our kid off to college or go to college ourselves and expect that after 4 years or 5 years or whatever it takes to pass a university degree in your country, we don't expect them to be morally better than they were when we sent them off in the beginning. And Derek Bok and Dallas as well point out that actually religious institutions aren't all that better at helping us, if not for the fact that fewer and fewer folks in Western countries are actually participating in religious institutions. Maybe they would if we actually participated. But what Dallas is going to point out here and in this whole section is that actually things lie even deeper than that. There's an even more basic problem, and that's that there is no moral knowledge. And you'll see that here. Dallas is a big fan of doing italicized, emphasized words, and on the second page here, for me, page 3, there is now no recognized moral knowledge upon which projects of fostering moral development could be based. And what he's saying is that what the president doesn't really acknowledge, as President Bach doesn't really acknowledge, is that if you went over to the part of the university which supposedly is teaching ethics and working on that, that they don't really think, and the university as a whole doesn't really think, that we can get to moral knowledge. And that, of course, means that you can't teach it. And if you can't teach it, then you might wonder why anybody should be blamed for not knowing it. Now, the idea here is that actually in other areas in the university, there is thought to be knowledge in history or math. If students don't come out with sort of strengthened in their understanding of those areas, well, there you might look at pedagogy or something that the university is doing, because there's a sense that we actually do know some things there and we can pass those things on to students. But if you want to strengthen moral character, not just know sort of what's right and wrong, you have to go beyond telling people what's right and wrong. And that's something that this book is going to deal with. So just sort of keep that in mind as you kind of look forward to the rest of the book, that Dallas is not just going to get into the nitty-gritties of what's right, what's wrong, how should we act, how shouldn't we act, but he's going to start to suggest ways in which we can become people of strengthened moral character, which is really the heart of our problem. Because it wouldn't take much to sort of get back to a sense of, well, now we have moral knowledge, but there's this next level of, well, how do we integrate that into our lives? So I want to give you just a thought until we see each other again, or a question. Were you ever taught ethics as knowledge? Were you taught that in school? Were you taught that in your family, in a church, some religious institution, some club, from your friends, from even media, artists? Where were you taught that, and were you ever taught that at all? Well, that's what I've got for you today. Don't forget to sign up for our almost monthly newsletter at Sanctus Institute, and I'll see you next time.